All right, show you the next step on this cutting board. So I've always struggled with trying to get wood square. I mean, perfectly square. If there's really ever such a thing as perfect square or round or whatever. But so I went out and bought this 90-degree miter. It's called an EXACT-90, made by Woodpeckers. And just for this miter, it doesn't, it's not an angle miter. It doesn't change. It's a 90-degree. It doesn't move as far as the, the pivot there. It's locked in at 90. It's got a hold down and a stop. It's got some nice features, and it's expensive. To make this thing a perfect 90, they do have a little bit of adjustment in it, just a little bit. So you can set it. If it messes up, you have a little bit of tolerance there. But anyway, back to the cutting board. I'm trying to make this thing as square as possible. Spent a lot of money on the miter gauge. And how I'm checking for square, maybe I'm wrong here. You can hear me out. So I put this ruler, right, just a flat ruler, and I got this angled aluminum gauge. Then I set it up into the corner as tight as I can get it. Okay, I set my ruler up into the corner that way, and I check it on the other side. And I'm coming up with, not really measuring as opposed to just getting a number and looking at the same. So it's 11 exactly. Then I set this thing up in the other corner. Put your ruler in the crevice there and check that way, and it's 11. So that's how I know this board is square with 4 perfect 90s. Okay, I don't know, kind of a cool tool. I don't use it often, but when I'm looking for perfection or as perfect as I can get, I turn to stuff like that. So if I'm going to do woodworking, I'm trying to perfect many of the things that'll drive you crazy doing woodworking. What I did with this thing just recently tonight is I think it was slipping on me, the board on there. It's just a melamine board, but I just took some self-adhesive 320 grit sandpaper and cut a strip and put it on there. That way this thing, as you're cutting, there's just, you're taking out all the variables for it to move closer or further from the blade. So that's done, and I got it square. Next I'm going to do a juice groove, and I got to do handles on this thing and then round over the corners. So this thing is, now that we're talking, let's take a measurement, because I was looking for real close to 22 by 12. This thing is made for a beef brisket, so I had to take a little bit of excess off. So what am I, 21 7/8, almost 22, but that's okay. I think he would have been happy with an 18-inch, but for a big beef brisket, this will be a perfect board for it. Let's call it 22 by 12. Yeah, 22 by 12. So now that's what I'm doing tonight. So see how far I can get. Talk to you later.